What is going on? You are listening to TAGSPodcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast. This is episode 486. I am your host, Stevie, alongside in the studio of all places, Lincoln. How you doing, Lincoln?
We are here. I love being here. I love being in person. So this is great.
It's good to see you. You look so young and different, as people were telling you.
Yes, because I'm clean shaven today. I've had my beard for almost 6 months solid, and I had a great photo shoot on Friday and had to shave down to nothing, so it was great.
I love it. Also, of course, joining us, not shaven, but with a nice beard, is Kodi, Maurice, Doggette. How the hell you doing, Kodi?
Hello, darlings. I stole Lincoln's beard, darling.
I love
That's
it.
hilarious.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Let me get my glasses on because we have so much to talk about. You know, I'm labeling this first part music and politics. And the reason I am is because there's so much division, and it's having to do with music and politics right now. Malaysia cut short this music fest after British band the 1975 essentially kissed a male bandmate on stage. Well, if you know anything about Malaysia, that is a big no-no, and you're not supposed to do anything like that. Malaysia's government had cut short a music festival after the British band, the 1975, slammed the country's anti-gay laws and kissed a male bandmate during their performance. And this didn't go very well. Communications and Digital Minister Fahim Fadzil slammed Maddie Healy's conduct late Friday at the start of the Good Vibes Festival as very rude, he said. Healy used profanity in his speech, criticizing the government's stance against homosexuality before kissing bass player Ross McDonald. And it just didn't go well. They canceled the whole festival.
Wow.
Over
That's
that.
Major.
I mean, it's interesting. We're going to talk about some other music in just a second, but it's just interesting to me that we're in a, like, would you take a stance like this if you had a platform knowing you're going to an anti-LGBTQ country that doesn't support, first of all, would you go there first?
Yeah.
Or would you still go there and risk it, Lincoln?
It depends on what kind of an artist you are. You know, like when Madonna did Eurovision and they said absolutely nothing political, and then she added a little political at the end and they got all upset. And
there you go, yeah.
Then her sound was off, you know,
Yeah.
mysteriously. But that's what Madonna does.
Yeah.
I don't know what this artist does.
The band, yeah.
Right, what this performance entails. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's out of the blue or very something that they always do. If it's their form of activism, then that can be respectable to a degree.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, Kodi, if there are even any gays in this band at all, or if they were just trying to take a stance against the many anti-LGBTQ laws that we're seeing in places like Malaysia. Is this a wise move to, I mean, I guess in some ways it does because it got them in the news.
Oh, yeah. I think that it's bringing awareness to Malaysia's anti-gay platform.
Yeah.
So I think that in and of itself is a good thing. I do think that I'm of two minds because I feel like you should be respecting a country's politics and like the things that go on in the country. But when it's something like this, that you have to fight back and you have to kind of push the envelope a little bit and make sure that people understand that things like this are not okay, that we are human beings and that we need to be respected at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I know back to Madonna, she added a couple states, right, to fight back for some of the anti-LGBTQ laws that are out there. I think it was Tennessee that she's going to play in, that she originally wasn't part of the...
And drag show Bob. I don't know what his name
Bob
is.
the drag
Bob
queen?
the drag queen.
I just confused the guy from Simpsons to
that
to
sideshow Bob.
I'm so sorry, that was
Oh my
Bob
gosh.
the drag queen. I'm not.
Sashay
you guys
away.
both know I'm not a big drag
Yeah, right.
followers, and I'm dyslexic beyond belief. So it's all going to come out backwards. No disrespect to anyone, anywhere, any day.
Bob
but
is my favorite drag queen, by the way. Go ahead.
Madonna chose, even before drag got so in the news, to have this be part of her new tour. But again, remember, Madonna's the one who kissed Britney. Madonna's the one, you know, that's what Madonna does.
Yeah, provoke.
Provoke. And Also to her detriment. She
Yeah.
released American Life and was pulled off the radio kind of for the rest of her life. So
Yeah.
think about it.
I mean, it brings up artists like, I don't know if you've heard of Jason Aldean and his current song that's making the news right now, country artist. Try that in a small town.
That guy.
Which is, many are calling a racist song
It
by some
is.
of the lyrics and some of the visuals of Black Lives Matters and what I could do in a small town. And he's standing recently this past weekend on his laurels on this is what I stand by. And so he's doubling down on that. On the other hand, we had a listener, Billy G, sent me this artist because I love the artists that are out there right now in the gay world, LGBTQ world. Dixon Dallas. I'm not even a country fan, and I love this song.
Okay.
I played it for a friend of mine yesterday. He has a song called Like Whiskey and Good Looking. Like Whiskey has lyrics like, summertime in the blue sky, our hands in my hand, cold beer with some moonshine and our toes in the sand. That look in your blue eyes, it makes me lose my mind. I'll pull you closer. I'm so glad you're finally mine. He says things like, he put his hands on my body, made the room a little hotter. I'm sipping him like whiskey, got me wetter than the water.
Whoa.
He says, boy, turn around, let me hit it from the back. Yeah, I know how you love it when I do it like that. That's just a little thing. One of his other songs says bussy, and it's
In a country song?
in a country song. I know. I'm kind of here for Dixon Dallas, though. So, and then we were talking about Troye Sivan, who
Yes.
has that great song out. Who's British, by the way? I didn't realize that.
Is he?
Yeah, he's British,
Okay.
and he has a song out right now called Rush
Yes.
that is going viral. A nod to the poppers. And so it's a really good time to be, I guess, divisive or participate in your political stance.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm kind of here for it.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that if you are an artist and you have a platform, then it's imperative that you use that platform to push the social envelope and make people more. That's what an artist does. It makes people think. It makes people be more loving and accepting of one another.
I mean, I just think the only thing about the 1975 performing in Malaysia and it got the whole festival shut down, it reminds me a little bit of being on an Atlantis cruise and we were in Spain and we went to a part of Africa, Tanzania, and they warned everybody on the cruise that if your room, or anywhere really, but if your room is facing Tanzania, they have strict rules about nudity, about homosexuality there, and please don't do anything like that. Well, the gays still had to push the boundaries and do something, and it got the cruise line fined hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars, actually. And I just think when you know the rules, like, why would you even go to that country? Or if you're going to go to a country like that, don't provoke, because it could end you in jail. This got this whole festival shut down.
Yeah.
And so I just think there's a time and a place to have a stance and get your message across. I think maybe it is working for the 1975, but on other sides, I don't know if it's really productive. So
Yeah, I don't like people that don't respect the obvious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I also don't know if they thought that the whole festival being canceled was even a possibility.
An issue. Yeah, you're right.
Gays on an Atlantis cruise, get over yourself. It's not about you. It's a country and laws that have been oppressing people for a lot of years.
Yeah.
You and your G'd out butthole in a window is not.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, people, let's all become adults soon, please.
Yes.
Soon. Where's the adults? Weren't there supposed to be adults?
I'm not an adult
still a
yet.
child?
Yeah, I'm still and I just had a
Yeah.
birthday. So.
I've been an adult
Yes.
since I was 13.
Happy birthday, Kodi. We just
Hey,
celebrated
birthday,
it.
Kodi. Let's all drink to that.
Cheers,
Let's hear the
yes.
cheers. Hang on.
Clank, clank,
Clank, clank, clank,
clank. Lovely. Well, good news. Let's talk about some good news here for people living with HIV and their sexual partners, because a host of health organizations acknowledge that undetectable means untransmittable. This isn't new, but there's more news to the story. This means, well, we know the World Health Organization just reaffirmed the message. WHO released a policy brief to coincide with this week's International AIDS Society Conference on HIV Science in Brisbane, Australia. And the good news about Australia is they are at 90% of not having any transmission right now.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
It's 88%, but they said it's unheard of to have that. They're pretty much on the brink right now of being eradicating HIV in Australia, or Sydney for sure, which is the big city where most gays live. The other thing that they wanted people to know, what does suppressed mean but detectable mean? Well, the WHO policy states that there are 3 categories for HIV viral loads and measurements. And they are essentially saying that the studies analyzed over about 10,000 people that serodiscordant couples across 25 countries, they identified 2 cases of HIV transmission when the HIV positive partner had a viral load of 200 to 1,000. So I think what it's essentially saying is that even when somebody has HIV, that the undetectable loads are even lower than we thought initially. So, I mean, it's good news.
Yeah.
Let it be Australia to lead us into.
They're doing it right. Kudos to Australia, because from gun control and now this.
That's a great point. I love hearing that.
I want to move there now if it wasn't for those damn spiders. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah.
They have hot guys and World Pride. And go ahead, what were we going to say?
I just feel like we need this news right now because the fight, it's always seemed like there's a cure in sight on the horizon. And are we ever getting there? It just feels like we're getting there.
Yeah, it does. This reminds me of a story it's just interesting perspective in my brain. I met someone who was detected positive very early on. And he had a doctor that was like, nope. We're not trying any of the drugs. We're not trying any of the drugs. We're not trying any of the drugs. And he skipped AZT. He skipped all the early drugs, which were killing people.
Yeah.
And white people, white men, all the gay white men that just went under the testing of AZT and all that. We lost a lot of people to that. And because his doctor waited so long, he is still alive, like 28 years being positive and still alive. But he said to me, and again, this was like 3 years ago, maybe 5. He said that because of PrEP and all of the focus being on not getting it, the money has been taken out of people who have it, who want to live longer. Oh. So like the medication he was on wasn't working anymore, and there's no additional research for people that were positive that long because there's so few of them. Oh, isn't that an amazing mind shift? So that's what this just reminds me of. I'm very excited about this. This is great. Well, but there are our brothers and sisters and people who have been positive for so long, and I do hope the research is still going for a cure, which someone just mentioned, as well as people who have been under the medical guidance for so long that advances are still happening for them too. Even though it's a small minority, we all matter. So isn't that interesting?
Yeah,
it's mind
that's
shifting.
very, very interesting.
Absolutely.
I can't believe I was able to say that eloquently enough for you guys to get it.
No, it's beautiful. But I'm just glad that this is coming out, because it's going to definitely take a lot of stigma away from people becoming enamored or having or dating people that are positive. So as long as they're on the medication and everything is okay, then we're doing the right thing. We're moving forward. So
moving on, Grindr employees are set to unionize amid the rise in anti-LGBTQ legislation and tech layoffs. Employees at Grindr announced Thursday that they had launched a union. They also did so in part that they say due to the company's CEO, George Arison's prior backing of anti-LGBTQ politicians. It's interesting because I went to the Archer, the brand new app Archer launch party. We had them on the show on Tags Live, and they are all LGBTQ friendly there, and I think they're starting on a good ground floor over there, and I'm really happy to see that. Grindr hasn't had that trajectory, and so in a press release through the labor union Communication Workers of America, the employees said that a supermajority of workers at the company had announced the creation of Grindr United with CWA, and approximately 100 eligible members of the union signed representation cards at Grindr. Grindr United members come from departments across the company, including cloud engineering, customer service, design, IT, marketing, privacy, product, and quality assurance. And workers said they're unionizing to protect current benefits that would be maintained through a collective contract. And so, I mean, I think this is really good that they're doing that. I mean, they have so much controversy over there at Grindr that I think, and when your CEO is known to back anti-LGBTQ.
That's crazy to me.
I mean, I think it's really good that they're standing up for this. We can talk about that, but we do have to also talk about Elon Musk's, who just turned Twitter into X. Did you hear about
person following Madam X Madonna's lead.
Oh, look at you.
The funny thing about this is he's getting away from the bird and going for an X, and a lot of people on Twitter thought the gays thought it looked like a gay hookup app symbol.
Oh my gosh.
And there is so much, looks like a dating app for gay men, one person wrote. People went on a whole thing with the malevolent Tesla founder abruptly changed Twitter's logo to X over the weekend, justiculating the brand's synonymous bird logo. Quote, soon we shall bid adieu to the Twitter brand and gradually all the birds, he tweeted early Sunday morning. Do we care? Are we using Twitter? I'm personally a fan of Threads right now that Instagram launched. And are you out?
So I'm a little out. One, I've been locked out of my Grindr account for 3 months and I still can't get back in. I keep putting in every email possible, but I just want to wipe my... I mean, I don't use apps to hook up. I use apps to keep in touch with people I've known throughout the years, especially like Scruff. I have like friends on there that I still chat with. I don't have their cell phone. We've talked about this ad nauseum, but I can't get back into Grindr, so screw Grindr. And didn't they also sell all the information to China that's in Grindr or whatever?
There's that too.
Wow.
That's been layered. Grindr's over. Everyone should delete the app, run away.
And use Archer.
As far as Twitter,
Yeah.
it's amazing how one man can come in and destroy a company that was already so detrimental to our society.
He made it so...
And it was already
worse.
Not good for us.
Right.
Yeah.
But I only follow, if you guys follow me on Twitter, which we used to promote, that it's Matt Lincoln on Twitter. All I follow is porn on there.
Oh, me too.
My Tumblr, which turned into like Pinterest, basically. Tumblr? Remember Tumblr?
Of course.
You found the best porn on Tumblr.
Tumblr, but
it's Twitter, and I'm not about to download another app to find all that. So it doesn't. If I cared any less, I'd be dead. But I wish everyone well.
It is funny, Kodi, because a lot of people are comparing it. The X looks like, okay, Madam X over there. But on the other hand, it does look porn or like a gay dating app.
Yeah.
And
But
I
if
mean,
you try
Twitter's
hard
used
enough.
for so much porn.
Yeah. I hear that, definitely. If you try hard enough, you can make anything a gay dating app at this point. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Instagram is a gay dating app.
Yeah,
I can go on.
Right.
But I think that this whole rebranding, where is he coming from with this? I don't think that it should be something that is even on our radar because, like Lincoln was saying, Twitter is such a toxic space right now, and it's kind of over. All I go on there for is porn.
Not even right now.
Oh.
We had an election that was taken over by Donald Trump because of Twitter being
True.
used as the platform. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? And that screwed everything.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks they can break the law and it's all about them much more now than ever before. And everyone living their best life and thinking that they're the only thing that matters because of what they can pull up in their phone is disgusting. Again, can the adults please come back into the room because I want to have a conversation with you. And until then, I'd rather be alone in a room. Sad. It's a sad
We can go to Discord too. Discord, you can find like-minded people on Discord. So I feel like that is it's more conducive to your mental health. If you go to Discord and find like-minded people that are grown like us, and if you listen to TAGSPodcast, so there we go.
Very nice.
Shameless plug.
Well, let's move on because there's something that I think you sent me, Kodi. Hola Papi. You sent over, and it was entitled "My Boyfriend Dumped Me Out of the Blue." Let me read a little bit more, and I'll ask you why you sent this, Kodi. It says, my boyfriend of almost 2 years broke up with me out of the blue. We've been having an off week, but even he admits it was on a whim. I'm not sure what to do now. I miss him terribly, and I'm also incredibly angry with him. How could you do this to me? When I try to be emotionally mature, I tell myself he didn't do anything to me. He did something for him. He doesn't owe me his time or care or affection. But now I feel hopelessly lonely. I live alone, and he was my man, source of daily human contact. I bounce wildly between blaming and hating him, and blaming and hating myself. How can I make peace with this new era of my life? And you sent this to me because so I'm going through something similar now, and someone sent it to me, so I thought that it was good for the show. Yes.
But I am going through something similar now. My boyfriend is saying that we are in a rough patch, basically, and I feel like I'm trying to work through it. I don't know if he's trying to work through it, but I think that we are not in a good place right now.
Yeah.
And this is extremely relatable to me because I feel like it came out of nowhere, and it makes me feel a little bit lost. I'm going to try and do this without crying. So.
No, we're here for you. We are here for you.
Thank you.
You can cry too. It's
Yes.
We like the crying. It helps. Trust me.
Yeah. Tears mean you care, right?
Yes.
But I think that a lot of it came from his growing dissatisfaction with the relationship and not expressing that dissatisfaction. And it all came to a head, and he just told me that he wanted to break up with me.
Because I think what you're saying is usually there's signs, and like this person wrote in this Hola Papi piece is 2 years later, all of a sudden, I mean, I know you met in the pandemic.
Yes.
I'm not sure. I've heard of stories of pandemic changed everything. Do you think there's anything to do with that and the time that you shared meeting in the pandemic?
I feel like a lot of people are getting divorced now. It's so funny because we just we did a story maybe when last time Lincoln was on, maybe 2 weeks ago, about Billy Porter and Ricky Martin.
That's right. And Ricky Martin.
And those TikTokers, yep.
And then since then, Sofia Vergara and Joe Manganiello, they're getting a divorce as well. I think that
Kevin Costner, if anyone cares. Sorry.
But there's a lot of people are taking stock in their relationship since coming out of the pandemic. And I got really emotional because that was when everything was coming to a head for me as far as my relationship was concerned. That's when he approached me when we did that story. So I got really in my feelings, and I said love is the only thing that matters to me, and as long because I really love my boyfriend. He's still my boyfriend right now, and I really am in love with him. And even though I'm accepting nudes, send me nudes on to my Instagram.
Wait a minute, stop! No, stick with the ear.
I mean, it's so interesting how that story coincided with almost exactly what you're going through.
So much is going on.
I mean, I don't know, Lincoln. When you hear something like this, it seemingly came out of the blue.
Okay, so first of all, there is no out of the blue.
Okay.
People bicker. Relationships go through ebb and flow, but the principle of love feels good. Love feels good. And if you rewind your mind over the past 6 months or a year to how much you felt good and how much you were in crisis or in argument or in upset, did it really come out of the blue? And you don't need to
Yeah,
answer.
no.
And that's because something that Kodi and I talked about before, and I'll share this because it is beneficial to my logic. I asked on Christmas of last year, not this year, but no, 2 years ago, I asked Peter to marry me. Mm-hmm. And when he said yes, I said, great, we're now both starting therapy separately because we're engaged and we need to answer questions for ourselves before we get married. And then we set a date about a month and a half ago. And the moment I set the date, I said, now we start couples therapy.
Yes.
Because if 50% of divorces end in marriage, I told you all I was dyslexic with Bob the Top or whatever I said earlier.
Bob the Top, yeah.
I don't know what is happening.
he's a top,
I'm
yeah.
so sorry. It's just
okay.
the way the Stephen Lincoln
I
mind
was in
works.
it, too.
It's okay. I'm sorry. I'll get back to it. Don't worry. But if half of marriages end in divorce, I am a product of divorce. My parents divorced when I was 5. It doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, up, down, left, right. These are relationships. And whether it's a friendship, an intimate relationship, your parents, your siblings, love is all the same. There is no degree of this love is more important than this love. Love is an equalizer, right? So if I'm going to go into a commitment, I need therapy to figure out what is going on. And we had our first therapy session. And the thing that I left with, which was such a beautiful reminder, there's another reminder that just came into my brain that I want to share as well. But when you're in a couple, there is the you, there is the him, and there is the we.
Yes.
And in both what you just read me off of that article, he didn't say we once. He said me, 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 me. Shut up.
Yeah.
You're not an adult. You have to nurture yourself. Your partner has to nurture themselves. And then there is the bond.
It's like a triage.
So what's crazy is with Stephen and Peter, it's SP, which is the initials of our dog, Salty Pretzel.
Oh.
So there is always the Stephen, which is the S, the P, which is Peter, and the S and P, which is our relationship. And you have to work towards that common we to move forward. You cannot pretend that all of your needs are what's important.
Yeah.
It's the need for the relationship. Same in friendship. It's your needs in the friendship, the person's needs in the friendship. And if their needs are skewed and weird and you don't understand them at all, well, do you care more about your needs or the bond, which is the partnership of your friend or of your partner? Okay?
Yeah.
So if that is a truth, and the one thing I learned when I went to couples therapy, which was very exciting, I can't wait for the next session, is that I am a self-help junkie. I had a bit of a nervous breakup with myself when I was young.
A nervous breakup with yourself.
Yeah. I was in a relationship. It was my first main gay relationship. And we were like a really great Janet Jackson video. Like, I was older, he was younger, he was black, I was white, I had money, he didn't. Like, it was like it's very stereotypical. And when we broke up, it was really harsh. But I had kept the relationship a secret the whole time from my family because I'm not coming out.
Right.
It's new. So when I broke up, I had no one to talk to. And when you do that and it hits so hard, and by the way, it was one of those relationships, and I'm sure everyone out there has had this, when you're breaking up and it's like, oh, that's a problem. It's okay. I'll pay for it. Or we don't need to do that anymore. Like, I didn't want us to break up.
Yeah.
So the final straw was he said, you're too fat to love.
Oh, no, he did not.
He did. Because he couldn't get out otherwise. I had an answer for every single problem.
So he had to
every
go.
Single time. So he had to go for the jugular to get out, which, by the way, gave me the gift of losing 82 pounds and being a fitness professional
Lincoln,
today.
I am so sorry.
Well, thank you for saying that. And him and I now have a relationship. He lives in Australia, by the way. Don't get me started with Australia. But my point here is every breakup, every break open is an opportunity for you to come back together with your boyfriend, for friendships to evolve and come to a higher level. And as you're dealing with these problems, the other reminder, I'm almost done, I promise. The other reminder which came to my head, which I love this. Anxiety is living in the future, and depression is living in the past.
Okay.
So as you struggle with these relationships, which we all have, if you start to get anxious, it's because you're living in the future and you think you're alone and you're never going to meet anyone. And oh my God, what happened?
Yeah.
Why did? And
That's
if you're
how I'm
like,
feeling right now.
we used to be so together. It used to be so good.
Yeah.
We used to be able to finish each other's sentences.
How am I in both places at the
now
same
we're
time?
depressed. Now we're depressed. So just remember, if you feel depressed, you're living in the past, stay in the present. If you're feeling anxious, you can't predict the future.
Can we get a
stay in
chart
the
on
present.
that? Like
I will do a
want
flow chart.
Yeah.
of the whole
Flow
thing.
chart,
So that was a
yes.
bit of a lecture, but
No.
this is what I talk about when
Yeah.
I say, where's the adult in the room?
Yes.
We need to, Peter and I are not always unicorns and rainbows.
Yeah.
And it's not always going to be unicorns
Because
and
And I
rainbows.
want to give you
why?
the final word.
Because I think that relationships are work at the end of the day. And
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people don't want to put that work into the relationship. I feel like...
However, can I just stop you there?
Oh,
When people put
hold on, what?
ultimatums, then no.
Yeah, okay, all right. I hear that. But I do think that if you are not expressing what you need in a relationship, if you are not saying that this has been on my mind, let's go to therapy, like Lincoln said, and work through these issues so that we can be a stronger person, we can be a stronger union together, then I think that's an issue. And for it to come out of the blue, like with this person, I think that that's totally...
Well,
and
and-
even in my situation, I feel like it came out of the blue.
But some people don't
Yeah.
want to do the work.
Well,
And some
right, but
people
that's-
don't want to do the work.
that's
Some
the-
people don't want to do the work.
And that's where I've said, therapy you should do. And if you're not getting that answer that, yes, I want to participate and do therapy, then I feel like then we don't have a basis to work on if you don't want to do the work.
I hear that. Go ahead. What are you going
Can
to
I
say?
do one more little anecdote?
Yeah.
I swear I'll save it because this is it's a Marianne Williamson quote. This is not mine, but relationships are like, have you ever heard of a raw amethyst? Do you know the stone and amethyst? It's like a rock.
Purple, but
it's like a rock.
before it's
Yeah.
Right? It's a rock, a raw amethyst. And what you do is you put an amethyst in a tumbler, which is like a dryer,
Yeah.
and it knocks out all the rough edges.
Uh-huh.
That is
That's
the
what therapy
purpose
is.
of a relationship. This is a rough edge. It's a rough edge that you're hitting and he's hitting at the same time. And you're going to work through the rough edge or not, but at the end of the day, you're going to be a beautiful amethyst stone.
That's right.
And,
Thank you.
And actually, that's how he is also inside.
Yeah.
At the base of all that tumbling or turbulence, that's all you guys are. A raw
love
amethyst
that.
trying
I love that
to
too.
real amethyst trying to love each other. Okay.
Yeah.
So
We're
breathe.
bringing you
amethyst-
real life experiences on Tags Podcast, Kodi.
please. Okay, I'm going to take a little break.
You got like a few more
Have
minutes.
another shot,
boo.
you'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right, let me have more wine, please.
Okay. One of our listeners sent us this Reddit thread because he likes us to report on. I don't even know if there's much to report on other than he wanted us to discuss. It's called The Worst Hookup Story That Could Put Me in Sex Offenders List. This is an interesting story. I'm thinking of what happened today now and again, and the embarrassment is taking over. I was talking to this guy on Grindr who's visiting for a few days, and we decided to hook up. The plan was to jump straight into action, and as soon as he opened the door. Good plan. I was pretty horny. I get to his apartment building, and he sends me pics to show me how to find his door, which stairs to take, where to make the turns, on and on. Instructions clear.
No.
Well,
it's giving Saw.
He said, he says, knock at the door and be ready to get on your knees. Instructions were clear, he says. Followed all the steps and knocked at the door. He opens the door, wearing only his boxers, looking very hot. I enter. He kinda closes the door, and I immediately, without wasting a second, touch his dick through the boxers. He kind of jumps back, goes, wait, and stands extremely surprised. I'm super confused as he stares, and I think that maybe for some reason he thinks that I look different in real life. Maybe I'm too young, or maybe I went for his dick too quickly, even though we had a deal. I showed him all these pics and vids. How could he possibly think that I look different in real life? All these thoughts are running through my mind as I smilingly make a 360 turn to prove to him that I'm literally what he should have expected. He blurts out, "Do you speak English?" And I'm like, sorry, do you think that I look too young compared to my pics or what? To which he replied with, "Oh man, I'm so sorry, but I have a wife. Sorry." He opens the door fully and I leave quietly saying, "Yeah, it's okay. I have a wife? Sorry? What kind of rejection is that? You were just sending me dick pics 10 minutes ago. Couldn't you come up with a better excuse or just an honest answer and say that you're just not feeling it?" I start going down the stairs, kind of laughing at the ridiculousness of while suddenly I get a notification. Laughing out loud, I hear, "Wrong door, to the left."
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I knocked on someone else's door, grabbed this random guy's dick, and funny thing is that this totally random guy with the same colored door wearing only boxers looks so much like the guy I was there to meet. Like, I looked at his face clearly in good lighting, and I didn't even doubt for a second that something was off. Good thing he was nice, or this could have ended badly. Oh my God.
I did not. That took so many turns.
This is a great short story. Enter this into
This should be a
some
movie.
moth
I
radio
mean,
hour. Not,
yeah.
I don't know about movie, but definitely
radio,
like a moth radio hour or like a one-act little
Yes.
story. That's a great story, especially because it has so many floods of different
You're thinking it's going to go in this one direction.
It's people's insecurity. It's people that I
very horror film in the beginning.
It. No.
No, it was.
I
No.
thought he
Well-
grabbed his dick too fast, which he even said. Definitely
it
get
was
that
me, it was
pen to
me.
paper. Keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going. That is great. Take what we've said from this story and make it even better because you can embellish. This is a good one.
It's a good one.
yeah.
It would make
I'll
a
take this
great
story.
audio podcast, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is if you don't know what the Moth Radio Hour is, look it up online, and they have Moth Radio Hour night. I have like 4 stories that I want to do at a Moth Radio Hour, and this is as good as
This
those.
is a good.
It's really good.
I mean, I think we can all relate to the fact that when, maybe not you two right now, but when you have hooked up on an app and you go to that location and you buzz yourself in or they buzz you in and you're
things
walking
we
on the
do.
linoleum and you're looking at the mirrors and you're looking at
Crazy.
one more time looking at your teeth and you're checking yourself and did I properly douche, and before you get up there, and it's just that anticipation that
Yeah.
you're going through that is just nerve-wracking. But
Oh, yeah.
to have this happen, it's
love
like
it.
wrong door.
Oh my God, it's such a good story.
I
I hope that please come back to us and tell us that
Thank
you
you,
did this.
listener, for sending me that.
Yeah,
that was
I
one
want to
of
know
our
if
listeners.
he got to the good door, if he went to the right
I
door.
know, and then and now they're boyfriends. They've been married for 3 months. I'm kidding, but
I know.
wouldn't that
he
be
should've-
great?
he
If
That
it
should've
would
was
be
just-
great.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, out of 2 years, he breaks up with
out
her.
of the corner, wrong door.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good story. I love that.
You guys, let's end on a happy note here with a couple of feel-good stories on this Monday night when we recorded. A tweet has gone viral across social media platforms, has us essentially... The colorful post comes from a Twitter user named Brittany, who tweets under the handle Pride for MO. I think it's Missouri. And she says she's advocating for Missouri's government to include and protect our rights. And she wrote, "I don't wear rainbow items to tell you who's in my bed. I wear rainbow and trans pride colors so the family across the street knows they are safe. So the couple in the restaurant knows they aren't alone. So the boy who sees me, notices him looking at dresses, knows that I won't judge. I wear pride because you make them hide."
Yeah.
And I really like that.
I like that line.
It's a
Yeah.
better form of advocacy for LGBTQ.
It's like this is a safe
LGBTQ
space. It's
plus.
like, you know, when you travel to a place and you're looking for the consulate, right?
Yeah.
Because you may be in trouble. When you see that walking, and it's almost like, okay, it's a safe space. This person, not a place, but this person is a safe space.
Even
for
the
me.
rainbows in the like the coffee shop or the any type
always
of
make me feel
They
good.
make me feel so much better. Yes,
You're right.
So it's good.
You're right. It's almost that.
It's a safe space.
Yeah, I
makes
like
me feel
that.
so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then lastly, the internet has fallen in love with an Uber Eats driver. I don't use Uber Eats, but it's a thing. And let me just read it. The profile of an Uber Eats driver named Charlie has gone viral for its enduring answer to the question, why I deliver. Someone needs to feed the gays, is what Charlie said.
Hey.
Profile declares in large lettering. Twitter and TikTok users were delighted after one of Charlie's customers posted a screenshot of Charlie's mission. Even more people cannot believe that with over 2,000 deliveries, Charlie has made 100% satisfaction rate. Can they start their own so we can order only from them? And this is Charlie. I'm just showing
So
you guys.
cute.
Yeah.
Aw, cute.
I love that.
Yeah.
It makes me, things make you think of other stories. I order my mom's groceries or did through the pandemic. Not so much now, but she's always like, oh, the woman that's come several times came, and my mom can strike up a conversation with there's never what's that line, I've never met a stranger I didn't know, or something like that. She meets everybody and strikes up a conversation, and
that's cool.
she knows
Awesome.
these delivery people. And so
I'm
Charlie
always like, give me my food,
It's
and then
fun-
go away.
oh, you're from Brooklyn, so
I don't know. I'm taking this out of context. Yay for Charlie. But I don't. Peter handles all this. I hardly use my even Uber driving account thing. But I don't know if there's a way to make favorites on Uber so that when you need a ride, the top 5 or 10 people that you really like are notified first. And if they're in the area,
why wouldn't they be?
I wonder if that's a thing.
That would be a good
because if it's
suggestion.
not a thing, it should be a thing. And by the way, I said this a long time ago about Bluetooth. I was like, if Bluetooth works in one ear, why doesn't it work with our earphones? Like, why is there a white cord hanging down? If we can have, and now you can. By the way, I said this a long time ago. I was like, why doesn't
thanks for clarifying that.
Why isn't that a thing? And now it's a thing.
It's 2023.
So, but it's
Mic drop.
but it's 2023. So why aren't there favorites on your Uber account
There should be.
for drivers?
Yeah, my
There's
sister
favorite
had
on Grindr,
this.
so.
My sister had
Mike
this.
double drop. Thank you.
Okay, my sister had this theory that when you don't like if you give a bad review to a driver, if they were like driving recklessly and you give a bad driver, she thinks that you won't ever get paired back with
You
them.
shouldn't.
And I'm like, are you sure? You know that? And she thinks that that's the case. I'm like, well, maybe she's right. I don't know if she read something.
I don't use it, but
she
for
thinks
all the
that.
people out there. And by the way, you said this. I don't know if it was this story or the last, but you said in a tweet.
The last
Well,
one was
if it's now X, what is it called?
Oh, it's still called Twitter.
no, but
Isn't
No,
it
but-
called Twitter?
but
No, but
is
if it's
it
going to
X?
be a tweet, if it's now X, how is
still
it
called
an
Twitter.
X, but it's still called
think they
Twitter?
just-
I think
Change
he's
the
being,
logo.
I think he's being ridiculous, is what it's all
It
about, and it's still called Twitter. He just is trying to reinvent
And rebrand.
ridiculously,
So that it
and
can
it's
be
not
more
working.
popular
I wonder if this
It's-
is one of those.
We're talking
things
about
like
Elon Musk, y'all.
people
so-
who register as Republican, but they only vote Democrat because they're trying to take it down from the inside. I wonder if that's what he's doing.
I can't
wonder.
with
I don't
him.
think so. I think
can't.
he really is a crazy person.
I think you're right. And on that note, we did want to end with Charlie with an I, but yeah.
Oh, it's Charlie with an
Charlie
I.
with
It's
an I.
Char lie. Charlie.
I want to thank my co-host in studio. As always, so much fun. We'll
I'm not
see-
going to see you for a while, but
Yes.
I'll be back in like 4 weeks. And,
Yes.
and hello, everyone, and goodbye, everyone. And follow me on Mad Lincoln on Instagram. There's about to be a lot of changes to my personal Instagram, and also at Protein Bakery, because that's the bakery. And if you guys order, please order Protein Bakery. 24 years. I'm about to hit my 25th year of being in business.
Congratulations.
And I want people to order
lovely.
online. I now have a rewards program online. You can order anytime.
Breakfast
There's now
coo-
subscriptions
Breakfast
online.
cookie.
You don't need to
I'm just
think about
saying,
it.
the
It's good
lemon
stuff.
blondie.
Yeah,
I'm just going
oh,
to shout
good.
those out.
Thank you.
Kodi, why don't you do your?
Oh yes, I'm a life coach at KMD Coaching.
It's better this way. I like
It's better. I like it.
And Steve is like, as long as I don't have to talk, I'm good to go. And if you want some thirst traps, and if you want to send me some nudes, you can do it to Mr. Maurice both on Instagram. And Steve, I'll let you finish up.
I am _Steve V on Instagram, but follow the show Tags Podcast because that's where you can get everything. Kodi and I are live on Tags Live this Wednesday with our special guest Magnus Reese,
yes,
and his brand new You Equals You music video that we're going to be talking about. So check us out. The best way to get that link is just to go to tagspodcast.com and tags live it, and you'll get it. In the meantime, continue having hot
gay sex.
Yes.